Greetings. I am Elder Nexus, the Ancient Gladiator. Um, Today with crafts and chat to make some replacement pieces for the Settlers of Catan set. I need one replacement city and two replacement roads. The game is entirely playable without them, but just to be on the safe side, might as well. Today's drink of choice for because it's going to be hot as hell in here. Body armor, the cherry lime flavor. Yeah, I had to double check all the bottles that I got this time. I don't I don't know if like my nephew opened one by accident and left it there or something. One of the previous bottles I got, the seal was broken. So I'm like having to be extra careful from now on. Okay. Well, let's get a little bit started and then we'll get to some chatting as well. It's been a while since I last got to do any craft stuff. Got that one going. There's that one then. I got this particular stick long ago. I was gonna use it for like a kind of a measuring thing for a clout. Keep track of what height you're supposed to throw the chips. I never got around to signing up for that. That's all right. Should have enough left off of this one to make one if I feel like it, but I don't think I really need it right now. Between this one and the round one, I'm thinking about making some extra pieces for the Battle World game. Make it possible to play with 8 players, just because. So it's interesting to see an 8 player game, just because of how massive and crazy that is. Just to have it, it's a lot to take in with that 8 players. But between Twilight Imperium, Citadels, Eclipse, even the games that come close, like Seven Wonders and Diplomacy, it's an interesting. Big player games are interesting because you have to think about downtime and what players can do even when it's not their turn, or if someone passes out of their round that they can't jump back in, that the rest of the round is able to be finished pretty quickly, so they're not waiting too long. That's my hand blocking this camera. I'm sorry if the hand was like blocking most of this. This is still a kind of a hard situation to figure out. I've got the um my computer over at a completely different angle, so I have to turn my head quite a bit to see it. Yesterday, got to go play Railways of the Lost Atlas at the game store. Five-player game, 5 players, and I took second to last. At least nobody took over my company out from under me this time, but I still didn't do as well as I would have liked. This one seemed easier to cut through than the round one. Uh, there's the length of the rod that remains to make use of later. All right. So there's the city bottom, there's the city top, and then the roads. Yeah. Roads, city bottom, city top. Okay. What I'm going to do is cut off the road half of this first. That way, I have some control to actually carve in the little um, steeple part of the city. I want this to be seen. Damn it! It's not fair to have my hand blocking the process, and it's like, oh yeah, take my word for it. I'm trying to do this. Okay. I'm gonna get closer to the center of it. Shoot. Shape. Yeah. So yeah, I ended up walking to the game store yesterday because my family went out of town. First, I caught a bus, and then I went from there to my next stop, only to be caught in the rain. Thankfully, there was no rain on the way to from one of my stops to the game store. So that stop was Hobby Lobby because they just have the freaking selection. You know? There are parts of it that I'm not a fan of, but the fact remains they have the selection and they have what I was looking for. It was actually something that I was hoping to find originally because I remember seeing it last time. A desktop drum set, and they didn't have it this time. I want to see if there's any place in town that might also have it. I think it's like a special holiday item or something. I like drumming. I want to try actually drumming. I seriously thought of like a content idea of, using this can as a drum, using this as a drumstick. You know, just I don't know. Uh, Something like that, something creative, because I'm always looking to expand my creative options for content purposes. Yeah. While I was there, I picked up um, a storage container that I wanted to use for all my BattleTech stuff. And start actually bringing my mechs, and as long as I've got the model for it, I can actually, use my own model. If I don't have a model, at least I've got enough mechs of various weight classes to kind of substitute that way. I mean, we're not too terribly picky. I think if you don't have the mech that's the right type, as long as it's the same weight class of light, medium, heavy, or salt, um, it should be fine. It would feel out of place to use an assault to represent a light or a light to represent an assault. But sometimes people just have mechs available for others to borrow too, so there's nothing too much to worry about there. I still remember what I tweeted how long ago. It's like, man, I miss playing miniatures games, but I want to do like a handful of figures, not a big bucket full. And thinking about BattleTech after seeing the Essentials box at Target on clearance, it's like, yeah, yeah, there's that. And I'm glad I got back into it because we've got a good group there that's just really nice. Yeah, one of the things that I like about part part of the fun of tabletop games is the post game, review or the post mortem or whatever, where we like actually just kind of talk to each other like, yeah, this worked, this didn't work, this was just a weird stroke of luck. This If this had gone differently, maybe this could have happened. And wow, that was an incredible moment. We're gonna be talking about that for for a long time. An incredible moment. That's part of that's part of the shit that bugs me about a lot of online games is where do you get that opportunity to really talk to people about that? I don't really get to talk to I don't really talk to people in Quake about it because we're used to it going kind of quick anyway. But I have to wonder, what games do feature, and encourage that talk of, yeah, try this. Yeah, that was some good strategy. That maybe wasn't so much. That was just weird luck. I'm sure commentators do that, but I think it's good for the players to do that with each other as well. Yeah, we had that kind of moment after Railways to the Last Lost Atlas. Just it's the thing about the 1830 type games is you've got to be invested in stocks to make the money. And you're either investing in your own companies or someone else's that it's clear they're set up to do really well. And you may not even realize that they're going to be doing well until like it's basically too late and all the stock's been bought up. That and the only cash that counts is what's in your own pocket and not the company's. If you want to have that better train, you're going to need it in the company. But if you're still putting money into the company and it's like late game, it, it's not really helping you that much. Trying to finish this part. I'm gonna take a little break after. I swear I need to get like an actual vice for this. You know, if I know I'm gonna be doing it more often, I don't know. So those will get split in half to make the roads. Okay. Okay. A little break time. Get something to drink. Maybe stand up and stretch a bit. Oy. Uh, chill drink. You fill these things up and pressure them. Go to open one. It spills out a bit. You could drink normal water just as much too, but doesn't taste as good. All right. Anything else I want to talk about on here? Yeah, Friday night was just my first actual game for that that league, and it's Solaris. So we've got Solaris is this game world of mechs that fight, mech warriors that fight each other with their battle mechs. And I think Solaris has like its own special set of weapons too. But we've got our own fights to deal with, and then we can bet money on other people's fights. In-game money, not real money, but in-game C-bills. And that's another way to kind of earn um, money in uh, while there, because you also have to pay your pilots and technicians and all that. But yeah, it's just fun to come back to the game. All right, where's my pencil? All right, so yeah, I probably screwed this up by doing it this way. It's fine as long as it looks close enough. It's what matters. Okay. Yeah, recently I've been seeing some more attention on my channel. So first off, thank you for checking out my content and subscribing, liking, commenting. It's greatly appreciated. You know, I'm happy to do the videos in general, but it's nice to know that other people um, enjoy them. I have yet to really encounter a whole lot of issues with people, so thank you for being on your best behavior. Hmm, it's gonna look terrible. It's fine. Just has to be close enough. Okay. Yeah, I still plan to do the Mech Warrior Monday thing, because I've got the day off work. I'm trying to think if there's anything I want to do for like Thursday or Friday in the morning. I know what I'd like to do tonight um, if it cools down a bit. I want to do the next experimental line video that I have in mind, which is a cheerleader outfit and cheering you on. If you haven't seen it yet, the first in the experimental line video is age restricted and unlisted, and you can only see it if you're on my community. On the community posts or the playlists. Because I just thought, just in case, it would be best to cover my ass on that, both figuratively and literally. Yeah, that's why I still have to get back to the Sailor Jupiter cosplay modification because that skirt is way low, or it's way too high. It needs to be lower. Oh, there's the notch. That was a weird imagination moment for us. I was thinking about saying, "Oh, speaking of notch, I'm gonna stream Minecraft." And I'm like, "No, wait, that's actually that's a dumb segue." Um, but the funny thing is, I still have Minecraft on. I downloaded Minecraft onto the newer computer, but it's just not fun to me at this point in time. Well, I'm already in the games that I'm currently in. I think the only way I could ever really get into Minecraft again is with other people. I still need to figure out how to really reach out to people and just, you know, hey, I'm a content creator. I'm I'm available for collabs. Just like give me a heads up. But I need to figure out how to actually make friends, you know, in an organic way first. I don't want to be like some intruder or whatever. Oh. Yeah, I figured today would be a good time for working on a video. Um, just for a sense of kind of sanity with everything going on lately. I don't need to elaborate. I just want to try and find some calm, productive thing to do and just bring it here instead of amplifying whatever shit's going on. I guess that's one thing I can keep an eye out for, finding people to with finding people the kind of people I want to collab with. It's finding the kind of people that are not going to just milk every single drama for whatever they can get out of it. I mean, it's one thing if you want to inform people privately or on like a smaller scale, hey, this has been going on, please be careful. But it's something else when you're all just drama, 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 hearsay, and conjecture. By the way, buy my coffee mug. You know, not a fan of those people. Almost there. There's something else I want to talk about with well, it's that Hobby Lobby. I noticed that they're doing more with board games. They already did a lot with puzzles, but let's say they had Azul, Catan, Carcassonne, Quirkle, quite a bit of games. Oh, Ticket to Ride. But the real shock was seeing a like $27 mahjong set. It's like, wow. I still need to figure out how to run this, how to actually play the game. With the set that I have. I was thinking about just throwing my hands up in the air and like, I'm not going to cover Mahjong, but I'm going to cover Rummy Cube instead, just because it's close enough. Although I think in Rummy Cube you can like pull sets apart to reconfigure things so you're not completely committed to something. But I still like to actually learn, learn more about it. Um, because it is such a culturally important game. I'm gonna try to even this out a little bit. I believe I said before I wanted to try to limit board game buying when possible. But it's hard because there's still stuff that I actually do want. I'll be keeping an eye on. I'll be looking for certain games while I'm up in the Springs on a future weekend. I won't say which one. Not that it really matters. But somewhere in the future. We get to this. We got this part to go, and then we got to split the roads. A little drink break. I'm gonna try to fix this a little bit. More drinking. Hey. Yeah, I'm half tempted to to rewatch to watch that nearly 6 hour VOD for the Eve uh session recently because I have to wonder if I said anything crazy or what. I mean, no one's really made a fuss of it, but still, I have to a little bit curious to make sure because sometimes I'll talk about stuff and I'll just completely forget that I talked about stuff. I'll lose my train of thought and just be wondering what to do now. Start a new train of thought. Or try to salvage old one. Oh yeah, there's the other thing. I brought up Railways of the Last Lost Atlas, and I posted the picture earlier this week from the previous Saturday game. I was talking to one of the guys at Game Store about because I got quite a bit of likes and a couple of reposts, and among them quite a bit Japanese. I was talking to him about, I was like, yeah, a lot of train enthusiasts in Japan. So he wasn't too surprised about that, but I was, you know, I was a little bit surprised because it's quite a bit of response that I wasn't really expecting. Usually, my little Twitter account just kind of goes on quietly. Whatever, like, respond, post, whatever. Uh, I'm used to most of it just generally being ignored, so the response um, it was pretty nice to see. But it's amazing what brings people together in terms of, you know, global fandoms for things. And trains are a big thing, it seems. I mean, there was a board game convention specifically for train games recently called Tracks. Some our main guy, the main um, lead gamer at the store, was talking about it. That's where they previewed Railways, The Lost Atlas. I remember when there was a time with the the previous gaming conventions where there was a kind of integrated train game group for it called Puffing Billy, and one of the guys who passed away, they played with us quite a bit. He would play in those train games quite a bit. Yeah, there's like two major approaches to the train game. There's the 18XX of you have your hub, you build rails or upgrade them every turn, you buy stocks, you buy trains, you have to run your trains through your hubs across cities to make money, and then pay the money in dividends to stockholders based on their stocks and to the company if they still have anything left. The other train game approach is the connect cities with goods to cities where the goods can be delivered and make money off of that approach. The old Railroad Tycoon game was basically that. Steam also works like that as well. And then there's the oddball stuff like Silverton or the less of a train game, more of a set collection game, Ticket to Ride. There's also the third major archetype for train games, which is the Empire Builder like of dots and crayons to connect dots together to make your rails. And you go to cities that produce things and look at your cards from where those things can go and take them there to make money. But yeah, it's just such a big field of games in terms of theme and the three major archetypes. that makes train games kind of its own little world of excitement and capitalism. I'm gonna be real for a moment. I've been watching one person a little bit less. I'm about ready to almost stop completely. Um, and it was in the context of, talking about Disco Elysium, but just seeing people in chat cheering for communism really sets me off. Like I'm out of there. No, not even ironically. Don't cheer for that shit. And then there's the later stream, the quote of "It's okay to steal from big companies." That does not set well with me at all. I work in retail, and I have to see shoplifting from you know, my place in that store, and how it screws with us. And it just sucks. There's there should be no temptation in honest people. Period. The fact that people are either tempted or actively being criminals about this, you know, means there's something wrong with people in general. What happens to the store ends up hurting us in the long run. And ultimately, theft what theft does more than anything else is it breaks trust. You can't have this world with its people and not have trust. But people are out there just breaking trust every day. And for what? Little shit that they really don't even need. Things they're just gonna scalp for other money from other people. It's really disappointing. And the fact that someone I'm watching and is just straight up says, that it's okay to steal, that just doesn't set well with me at all. It makes me want to step away from that channel, that community. Just really disappointed. That's fine. If I less time I spend on watching other people, the more time I have to get this, work on this content instead. And I want to try to be a little more positive about stuff, a little more encouraging, a little more supportive, but on some blind optimist way. And actually, be supportive in a rational way. Logic doesn't have to be this cold hard thing. It's the thing that makes sense for actual reasons, and ultimately leads to something good. That's why I try not to um, mess with uh, the juvenile sex humor. Uh, yep, I can only tolerate so much of it at a time that when it just goes overboard, I just no, I gotta get there. But for some reason, it's stupidly popular with people. People will just giggle all silly like over you know things resembling private parts. And it's like really, you of all the things to make jokes about, you're making jokes about this. Now it's low hanging fruit, but really aim a little bit higher on the tree of comedy. It's going to look silly. Try to even a little bit more. I believe I've talked about this last time, but there's also the Vistroja petitions are going on. I caught a clip someone um, made of Giga talking about it's going to be a month to figure everything out, to gather all the applications, another month to go through it and actually decide who's going next, the next stage, and just to ultimately be patient about it. You know, if they pick you for the next stage, cool. If not, oh well. Don't bug them about it, because it's not going to help at all. I'm gonna start thinking about the next step of what I want to do here with my channel. At the same time, I kind of like just cruising a bit. I'm gonna take my time and figure out kind of organically how to what I personally want to do here to maybe step things up to the next level. I wanted to apparently there's things called reactive fugi. I might consider that as well because something that can just react to my voice is something. I know, this isn't much, just be a static image. It works well for me because that's fine with me, but some people are like, "Is this a static image? It's not cool. It's not much of a character." Whatever. For what I'm working with right now, it works for me. For what I'm just trying to do, it's fine by me. A little bit. Come on. Yeah. Feel that little bit right there. Right. So I was bringing up a point about just the way people can sell their VTuber models to someone else and just like not use them anymore. But that other person can use them and then assume the new, assume the model identity for themselves. Got me kind of thinking about um, a little bit about Ghost in the Shell, but more about Eclipse Phase. Does anyone remember Eclipse Phase? They got a second edition out, and I'm thinking about picking up. Just out of curiosity. There's a game where you've got your cortical stack and your body that you can put it into, and that's called sleeving. Why did I just make this worse? All right, you may not see this for a minute, but yeah, you can just switch out bodies. And when I first realized, it's possible, possible for a VTuber to switch over to a different form. That's why I started thinking about was Eclipse Phase. Suddenly, the transhuman or cyberpunk future is not too far off, at least on that end. They're still actually having actual bodies to switch between. I wonder how many people remember surrogates. I saw that in theaters. I was like, is this another one of those? We have it, therefore we're better than you, versus the we don't have it, so we're going to fight back or whatever kind of movies. Gattaca did it pretty well, but surrogates is the it felt cliche by then. Yeah, close enough. All right. So I just need some glue to make that. All right. This part, the rows are just going to be a flat thing. Let's try to. F-acid. Yeah, I genuinely wonder, like, how many of these VTubers have actually seen some of this stuff? You know, there's a lot of people are familiar with, the usual suspects of tabletop games and such. I wonder how many people are really familiar with um, the, some of the more esoteric shit that's out there. Like one of the anime that I like, um, Urahara. Anime of creative girls doing creative things, running a business, and then there's alien invasion and magic powers and corruption and things just not seeming the way as real. I was trying to get to the mystery of that. Yes, it's a little heavy-handed on its message and how it might even have its message kind of weird. And yes, the art style is probably going to turn off a lot of um, people because it is deliberately rough. But I still kind of have a fond memory of it. Here, I'll show you the one screenshot I saved and printed out to put on my wall that I wish I could have as like a gigantic poster. Except that it's behind everything else. There, let me get a good look at it. I saved I saved this screenshot in particular because it's like one of my favorite moments. It just shows them at work. They're just being creatively productive, and I think that's cool. It's it's a moment that made me realize I want to see more creative girls doing creative things type of stuff because there's a lot of focus on by certain people on just having them do cute shit like cosplay and role play and whatever for their own fantasies. But me, I like seeing creativity and productive efforts and business. So that was just like I want to see more stuff like that. And the one series that I ended up watching that did the best in capturing that moment for or that idea for me was Keep Your Hands Off Azokin. I'm going to get that on Blu-ray if if it's available because it is a damn good show. And I kind of like the ideas going into it. Uh, three people working together to create animation and it's just have fun. with their creative efforts. Yes, yeah, I see a lot of the, you know, a lot of the moe kind of anime, and it's like, okay, this is just supposed to be cute, but I'm not really thinking too hard about it. And I wish something would challenge my 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 thinking, inspire, inspire as well. I know TV tropes gets a little bit of shit sometimes, but they actually do have an analysis page for Moe that I have bookmarked that I think everyone should kind of read. You get a better understanding of how things turned out this way. Because, uh, yeah, I guess, people want to like it, it's fine. But sometimes I have to wonder if there's some deeper shit going on with people clinging to it so hard that it's the only thing they accept. It's okay to like something, but realize when you start getting too obsessed with it, and maybe take a step back and then reevaluate why you like it. It's okay to put some thought into the things you like. It doesn't, it, always believe in, greater appreciation through improved understanding. If you at least understand what you like, then that's better than just jumping on something for reasons you don't know. That was the important thing I had to keep in mind when I was doing the costume shorts was, okay, this is why I like this character, or why I like this kind of style. Because I didn't want to just say, oh, just because. Anyone can say just because. But if you have something you find personally relatable about it, then that's great. Honestly, I just wish overall more people would put more thought into things. You know, not just why they like something, but also why they do things in general, what they hope to achieve, what rules they live by, how they view the world in reality. Have a brain, might as well make the most of it. Trying to get a good angle for this. It's hard. Way I have everything set up. Let's go the table over a bit. Anyways, scoot this sawdust over if needed. Okay. Let's see. Well, okay. Enough philosophy. Let's get this. Let's go back to fun stuff for a moment. Yeah. While I was at the game store yesterday, I ended up picking up some more um Element. This is the Inner Sphere Urban Lance, the Enforcer, the Victor, the Raven, the Hunchback. I figured having more mechs to choose from would be helpful. But I also want to make a content video out of this for painting. You can see the painting process a little bit more. I already painted the other mechs. I just need to. I should do some fine details, but I'm never good at things. I have a weird approach to painting in general, it seems. Let's go with whatever sounds like a fun idea at the time, or a theme or something. Like my squad of the Shooter boys from the Orcs in 40K. There are orange jumpsuits and bone guns. That's a weird, uh, interesting approach. Oh. So I had to get some sweat out of my eyes there. I'm try to get through this. I usually have like my fan set up, and behind the fan are like a couple ice packs. I don't have access to the ice packs today. My sister needed them for her little cold bag for her day trip. I may just have to get a couple more just in case. Anyway, those two aren't. Those two ice packs are have gone through enough. It's one of the annoying things about living with family sometimes is sometimes they feel it necessary to borrow your shoes. That's why for a while, I was keeping my um, men's shampoo, conditioner, body wash in my bedroom instead of in the shower because someone else was using that too. So it's like, okay, I'm keeping my stuff in here now. A lack of reliable access to towels is why I got my own towel set. The fact that dishes and silverware keep disappearing, or why I have my own dish and silverware set. The towel thing can be traced back to um, living with my dad. It's like you should probably have your own towel set so you keep things separated. But I didn't stay long enough for that to matter. So instead, I ended up just carrying the idea back with me to Pueblo. And now the towel set that I do have, um, it's getting kind of worn down. That I need to probably replace it. Or I have some stitching. I always just take some thread and try to fix the borders, but they're starting to get kind of rough too. Might just pick up some fabric softener. Anyway, so have two rows. I could try to split one of these further, but I think having the wider roads fits better with a board. Apparently, the trying to put these on the board sometimes the doesn't work out too well. I think if the roads were wider, they would be better. So next up is actually painting these, but I think I'm going to do that on my own time. I still gotta glue those together. All right, there we go. That was the crash video. Yay! All right, thanks very much for watching. Um, upcoming content Monday, MechWarrior 5. Tonight, I might work on the experimental line video. We'll see. Well, I need to cool down a bit. I'm thinking about just taking a shower while this is uploading. I still need it. So I keep saying I want to play all these other games, and I get sidetracked. Life happens, and sometimes so does absence. So I do want to get back to Reciteer, just because it's probably the next game that's going to capture my interest the most. Because yay, capitalism. Anyway, thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time. Take care. See the thumb there. Thumbs up.